Thank you. So, Chinata, right. Thank you. So, Adebukola, please, you have the floor.
Thank you so much for doing this with us today again. It's taking up on one session before, I think about 2 months ago, and it was an enlightening session. I really love the passion it brings to his presentation. Thank you very much for doing this again. Today, we'll be looking at business structure and automation. Business structure and automation is important for every business owner because it frees you for so many things as we've been learning. It helps you achieve so much more. And since our facilitator is here, I'll just let him take the floor and teach us for the day. You're welcome aboard.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I don't know if everybody can hear me. Can you all hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Okay, so once again, I want to thank everybody thank you for having me, the Startup Corner NG. Thank you so much. It's beautiful to have to do this again with you guys. I've been following through with your sessions, and believe me, they are mind-blowing. And I don't take the privilege for granted for having to share with you guys. I hope that at the end of today's session that you would most likely have gotten a lot of value. Okay, so without much ado, since we're all very familiar, I'm going to just jump into my slides as I can see on the screen. Okay, so today we are going to be dealing with business structure and automation. Business structure and automation. Please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. All right, so let's jump right in. So this is the first slide. So today we're going to be taking you on a business structure and automation. But just a little history or a little background talk before we jump into the slides. Generally, why are we building businesses? Why are we building businesses? Why do we want to build businesses? Outside passion, I don't think one of the reasons that we're building businesses or we're doing what we're doing is because we want to be able to pass it on to the next generation to come. Two is so that we can have a means that sustains our lifestyle. All the things we are doing, especially when it comes to startup NG businesses, it's so that it can sustain the lifestyle. It can help sustain the lifestyle that we currently have. And now, doing business, especially from where I come from, Nigeria and around the world, it's not very easy. You understand? There are a lot of things, especially when you're just starting. There are a lot of things that you have to consider. You can consider taxes, your initial setup, legal requirements, hiring people. All of that process is a whole lot. It's a whole lot. So, especially even now that we are dealing with AI, artificial intelligence, and all, we must begin to tend towards um, we automating our processes. We must begin to tend towards automating our processes. That is the only way we'll be able to build something sustainable that would fund our lifestyle and at the same time generate revenue for us. That's the only way. So except you are working for a celebrity who is able to pay you a premium, or working for one of those governors, those presidents or something, someone who is able to pay you a premium for your service or your business, then I think that one of the best things that can happen, even at that point, then I believe that one of the best things that can happen to you is for you to be able to automate, to structure and automate your processes. Because when you do that, you are able to replicate, you're able to grow. You're able to grow your business. It's the same process that goes with franchise. If you check, most of the businesses that have lived for close to that we have come to meet, that have stayed for say 100, 150, 200 years, you will notice that they have scored they have scored the idea around structure and automation. It is why some brands can leave other countries and come into Nigeria and replicate the same thing and still make profit. So you should be thinking in that line when you're starting. You should be thinking that, okay, some of us can be very selfish. We want, if I now replicate my processes, if I now teach my processes, if I now build structure into this business, I may not be part of the business, because I know for many startups and for many entrepreneurs, it is first about the passion for it. But then there comes a time when you must take out passion. You must take out passion for it. You must be able to replicate your processes so that you can scale your business. So with that out of the way, I would just begin to go through my slides. Of course, you're going to have a question and answer session, but like I like my talks, since we are having an on-Zoom class, I like that let it be interactive so that as I share, if you have something to contribute or you have a question, we can just pick it up from there. Sorry again, I want to just know how many minutes I have so that I'm able to run through this as quickly as possible. How many minutes do I have?
50 more minutes.
15.
No, 5.
Did you say
0.
Did you say 15 or 50? Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 50. All right. Okay. So let's jump into it. Business structure and automation. So that's what we're dealing with today. So let's move to the next slide, please. Okay. So just like my slide says, from hustle to what? To system. Structuring your business to run without burning out. Without you what? Burning out. Now, most businesses don't fail from bad ideas. That's the truth. They fail from no structure. I'll say that again. Most businesses don't fail from bad ideas. They fail from no structure. Because every day as we wake up in the morning, we have different ideas. Different ideas. For instance, let's leave that alone. When you first have your idea, or rather, when there are laws or certain things that are set in place that you must have to be able to do business in different places. For instance, in Nigeria, you must register your business, right? You must register your business. That's the first thing. Then you must look at legal considerations around your business. These are some of the fundamentals that you must do when starting a business. Now, of course, there are many people running businesses without them registering their business. What are some of the challenges or problems of you running a business without you registering the business? One is, if something goes wrong, tomorrow you can be target fraud, right? So registering your business is also what? A structure. Because while you register your business, you also have access to other things. You have access to an account, you have access to loans, and there are other things. People feel confident doing business with you. So that is also part of what? Structure. So registering your business is also what? Part of structure. So it is far above, because there are many ideas that we have on a daily basis, but what makes your idea stand out? It's not just having the idea. The first move is, okay, fine, I now have an idea. I want to provide this service. I want to do this business. What makes it just another idea? Because just as you contemplate, just as you think and the idea drops to you, that is the same way we have other people somewhere also thinking about that idea. So what differentiates you? What makes you different from these people? One of the things that makes you stand out is the fact that you take action on that idea. And the number one action is to do what? register that name, register that business. When you register that business, it is taking that you are serious about that what? That idea. Now I know that there are other processes, like before you register a business and do all of those things. I know that there are other processes, like you brainstorm, you do your business analysis, you get the business proposal, you do a business plan. All of that is necessary. But you see, when you get to the point where you register that name, even before you do your as much as you are supposed to do your business analysis and all of that before you venture into business registration, it shows something. It shows seriousness. So if you're even going to talk to somebody about your business, they know that for you to have gone ahead and registered your business, you really mean business. You are ready for what comes next. So most businesses don't fail from bad ideas. They do what? They fail from no structure. And I've said that one of the first things that you do to prove that your business has structure is after you've done maybe your business analysis, you've done your business plan. When you get to that point where you've registered your business, then you begin to look at structure. Another thing is many of us are very busy, but not necessarily what? Building. Some of us can be busy. We tend to feel like I wake up in the morning, I go to my business. Have you done that? Have you done that? Have you done this? Have you done that? We are busy asking questions, calling, doing one or two things, but not necessarily building. One of the things that we prove that your business is structured is that there's growth. There's tangible growth. There's growth that you can see. I don't know whether you get that. Many of us are busy we are busy, but not actually necessarily building. So you get to your business, you're talking, you're calling this, you're asking for requests, you're doing too many things at the same time. You are busy, but you're not necessarily building. Now, one of the reasons that happens is because what? There is no structure. And even the reason why you are asking certain requests, seeking certain information is because you haven't done, there's no automation. Your business does not yet have a structure in place that automates how you do things. Right. So today, I'm going to show you how to be the engine and how to build one. All right. So you can see, it says stop running your business like a to-do list. Your business is not a what? A to-do list. Stop treating it like a machine with parts that work, even when you rest. That is how your business is supposed to flow. Once you have your idea, you're supposed to build into its structures or systems that even while you're not there, it's working. We are now in the age of artificial intelligence. There are a lot of things that will come into play in the next few months. We already have AI agents, things called AI agents. These AI agents are very interesting. Like all of the things that we do online. In fact, some AI agents have the capability to actually attend meetings. So it means that like a meeting like this that we are having, you can actually have your AI agent attend the meeting, communicate like you, right? Communicate like you and make decisions like you. Isn't that amazing? So you can be somewhere in the Bahamas, be somewhere enjoying yourself in one beach while you have built in a system that is working hard for you. Right. So today we'll build the frame that lets us scale with what? With peace. All right, let's move to the next slide. Okay, so the next slide says the structure is what equals what? Sanity. Why does this matter? Chaos isn't a what? A business strategy. Like I said in the first slide, people like to feel what? Busy, but are you actually building? When you're in a place, you're feeling busy, you get to the office, you're talking with this person, you're doing that at the same time. That's chaos. Are you really building? Right? Many times this happens when we do not even really have a clear goal. You remember our last class, our last session, you remember I talked about clarity, right? So many times when you don't even have clarity, you don't have a goal, you don't have a direction of where your business should be facing, you're definitely going to be working in chaos. And that is why many people get overwhelmed with their processes. You have a beautiful idea, you're working it, but the end point is zero. Maybe you're not generating any profit, you just have a fancy office, just have a fancy business idea, you're pushing, you don't have the right customers, you don't have a system built in place to actually attract the right customers. You're trying to do everything, you're trying to juggle everything yourself. You wake up in the morning, you're answering the emails, you have to put clients and customers, you have to handle bookkeeping, you have to handle social media management. I know that it can be very tough for startups. Yes, it can be very tough for startups since you're bootstrapping. You're not, you don't have all the, maybe the financial power to be able to manage, to handle, to hire everybody you need. But there are structures, there are things you can put in place to help you handle and manage all of these things without chaos. Like you can see, just on my slide, it says go to the on the number 2 there. It says you are overwhelmed not because you are lazy, but because there is no what? No system. So it's very important that there's a system in place. For everything that you do twice in your business, there should be a way for you to automate that process. For everything, you can write that down. For everything you do in your business more than once, that you do twice, excuse me, that you do twice, you should find a way to do what? Automate that process. Everything you do more than once. Now, structure saves energy, money, and your mental health. Very, very important. Structure saves what? It saves energy. So imagine you having a business and only you have to do social media. When you're done with social media, you come and do bookkeeping. After bookkeeping, you begin to call up clients. Right. First of all, you're going to be dealing with mental health issues. First of all, another thing, you're going to be spending money. You're going to be burning out your energy. You still have to cater for yourself. See, something like that won't work. Right. It won't work. Before you know it, you would have shut down the business. So you have a beautiful idea, but at the end of the day, what happens? You just have to shut out your business. You close down your business. And people will be wondering, that was such a beautiful idea. What happened? What happened to that idea? But you won't understand that it was a beautiful idea that had good prospects, but because there was no, what's it called? There was no structure. There was no structure. There's just one person in there doing all of the activities. So once you have that, you're bound to fail. You're already setting yourself up to fail. As an entrepreneur or as a startup, one of the first things that you should put in place is what? Structure. And for startups, for entrepreneur, I'm going to share with you the functional structure much more later on this session. I'm going to show you the functional structure, how you can implement it in your own business. So it's very, very important that we build structures into what we are doing. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. So it says here, hustle or system, which are you running? Are you running a hustle or a system? Which are you what? Running? Hustle is loud, but what? Short term. Systems are quiet, but what? Scale. Which one does your business reflect right now? So can we interact on this? Which one does your business reflect right now? Does your business reflect the hustle, or does it have a system in place that runs without you? Can anybody tell me about their business? Tell me what's going on with their business now. Or let me ask the question. Currently in your business, if you're not there for the next 1 week, would it keep running? Would it generate profits? Would it be running without you? If something just happens and maybe you can't access the internet, you can't access the people that you access, you can't access anybody, you're just in an isolated place, but you're good, you're fine, you're healthy, you're okay. Would your business be running? Hello? Am I here alone? Are we all
Hello,
here?
we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I asked the question just so we can get a bit interactive.
Yes. So for me, the answer is yes and no. No,
Yes and
because
no. Okay, why is that? Why is that? Or you can start with the yes first.
no, because at least marketing, client relations, developer maybe able to reach out, or
Okay.
a staff being able to reach out on behalf of the company. And yes, because once, let's say, onboarding processes are complete, then we can at least still be busy doing something while we work on reestablishing connections.
Right. All right. That's
Then
amazing.
there's an answer in the chat, if you could take a look.
Okay, yes. Let me see. Okay, Amalara Sani says, she said yes, but not optimally. Okay, beautiful. It means that you're already working towards building systems that to run your business. Now, the good thing about systems, the good thing about the systems is that it helps you scale your business. That's what a lot of people don't know. Because I know sometimes starting a business, you need it's like a child. When you have a business, it's like a child. Okay, so when you have a business, it's like a child. You know that the mother and child bond, it gets to the time when the child grows, maybe they want to leave, they don't leave the parents. You know that mother and child bond is difficult for the mother to let go of the child, but she has to let go because the child has his own life. That is how business is, right? You would have trained the child. The process of you training the child is the process of you building system, putting systems in place, structuring that business, putting systems in place so that that child, while you're not there as a parent, the child can function optimally, can remember some of the values that you instilled in them, can do the things that you would not do. It's the same thing for a business, even though it's not like a human being, but it is an entity. The systems and structures that you put in place would help it, even while you're not there, or even while you're no longer here, your business can keep growing, can keep going. Right. So that is the reason why we must have what? Systems and structures. Now, for every business, there are different kinds of systems that you can build and put in place. But of course, generally, there are basic things that you should have in place. For instance, as a startup, what is the one offer? Do you have clarity on your one offer? Do you have clarity on that? Because building a structure and building a system into your business starts with that. Do you have one structure? Do you have one message, one offer that targets your core audience, your target customer? Do you have that? That's one of the major things you look at before you start building a structure on your system. Once you have that, you're good. Right. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Oh, I had already jumped into this. So your signature offer, clarity before what? Before scale. So it starts with one clear offer. Your business structure starts from your value, right? And you have three foundations to build this value. One, your offer. What are you known and paid for? What are you known and what? Paid for. That's the first one. That's the offer. What are you known and what? Paid for. I think you should write that down. When they call your brand, when they call your name, what do people remember? What do they say? What do they see? What colors do they remember when they call your name or your brand? When your business, the name of your business is mentioned, what color comes into the minds of the people? What do they remember? What can they feel? What can they taste? What can they smell? What can they touch? Your offer should have all of these features in them, right? A lot of people don't know that branding goes that deep. It goes that deep. You must be able to connect with the senses rather, of your customer, of your target audience. It just, for instance, now, if you wanted to eat, if you're hungry and you wanted to have a taste of jollof rice, you already have in your mind, you already see the jollof rice. You already see maybe you want to have jollof rice and some crunchy fried chicken. In your mind, you already see what? The jollof rice. You already see the chicken, even though you've not eaten it, you've not had a taste, right? That only happens because you've had a feel, you had a taste before, right? You know what jollof rice is. So the moment I say jollof rice, of course, your brain picks it. That is the same thing that should happen to you. That's the same offer you should have, so that when your brand is mentioned, people can already feel and touch your brand. All right. So the next thing is operations. How do you deliver it repeatedly and reliably? How do you what? Deliver it. A lot of people don't take this serious, but it's important. How you deliver your value, how you deliver the package, how you deliver the product is also very, very important as how people remember you. It helps them remember you. You say, oh, what's the difference? Why do I buy from brand A? I don't buy from brand B? Is because at the tail end, I get these small gifts from brand A. In my package, brand A she always leaves me something which makes me feel special. Right. It may be nothing, may just be a pen. But believe me, customers, that thing that seems worthless, they would be looking out for it. So that is what makes them different. That's what makes you rather different. That's what makes your brand stand out and makes you feel different, makes them see your brand differently. That pen, that little gift in that pack, that little extra, the little call. How many brands even call their customers after they've done business? Many don't. So that little thing that you do could make your own brand do what? Stand out. Now, this is part of automation and structures. Other businesses may not be doing that, but part of building structure is immediately an offer is delivered to my clients, there is a gift that follows through. There is something extra. So you build that in, have a playbook, right? Where you write that thing. So even when you're not there and you have a system in place, you have someone in place managing your business, they know that once an offer or a product is delivered to the client, there comes through with a gift. Something must follow through, which makes your brand what? Stand out. So how do you deliver it repeatedly? Operations. How do you deliver your product, your service repeatedly and reliably? Right. The next is outreach. How are you attracting and converting the right people? This has to do with clarity, and I think I spoke about it in our last session. How are you attracting and converting the right people? This is very important. You see, everybody is not your customer. So there must be something that you have in place that you have done. That is why you do your market analysis. You have draw out a business proposal. There is something called the power of one that I teach in copywriting. It is you building one offer, one product. You build it so well that you are able to target, that is, your customer is able to hear you from the crowd. When you write maybe a copy, when you write a marketing message or a copy to attract the right customer, they can hear themselves in your copy. They can hear yourself in your content. So how it works is that we blend many factors. Like, what are the experiences? What are the experiences your client or your customer would have had? So we take that out. We take something that is unique to only your customer. and we put it in that copy. So when they are reading that copy, when they are seeing your marketing message, they can immediately connect. They can what? Immediately connect. So these are also part of the structures that you build in place. The moment you hit a bullseye, the moment you hit that with your customer, all you need to do is document that process and say, this is how we get our customer. This is what we say in our marketing message, so that the customer feels unique. They feel like you are speaking to them, right? They feel like you're what? You're speaking directly to them. Because a lot of people do not like to be amongst the crowd. We like to feel unique. We like to feel special. Everybody wants to feel special. How do you make them feel special? You make them feel special by ensuring that your message, your marketing message, is uniquely tailored to hit them, to call them out. You're not calling their names, but the message speaks to their, it speaks to their mind, speaks to their problem directly. So they feel connected. I don't know if that's making sense. Are we all here? Can you all hear me?
Yes, yes, you are.
Okay, hope we're getting value so far. Hello?
Yes, yes, you are making sense. We are getting value.
Okay, all right.
At least I am.
Okay, all right. Okay, so all right, so that is for your signature offer. Clarity before what? Skill. So it's important. The first thing is that you get your offer. The moment you've gotten the right offer, the next thing is what? You how are you delivering that offer? What you promise your client. You document that, document your offer. The next thing is to document your operations. How do you deliver it? What are the extra you do? The third is your outreach, how you are attracting your customers and converting the right people. Once you are able to get that, you document it. Now I'm walking you through building structure into your offers. Right. So this is how we do it. Once you've gotten this, you document it. Now with this playbook, you can send it out to a different person and say, this is my playbook for attracting what? For building your signature offer. But this is what I have come up with to building my signature offer. All right. Okay, so let us move to slide 4. Okay, automation isn't tech, it's what? Intention. So automation is about saving your energy, not sounding what? Fancy. I know that the moment you begin to, the moment we talk about tech, a lot of people shy away from it because it becomes, the technicality it becomes complex, so to say. So, but no, like what we've said now, like what we talked about in the last slide, once you have all of that, right? The next thing is to get a good copywriter. Next thing is to build maybe a sales copy or a one-page sales page, right? That highlights all of the things we spoke about in the last page. Now, you don't need to build 5 things at once. You build one thing what? Well. So you can take your offer, build it well, right? Once you're done building it, you try it out, you send traffic to it, you see that it converts, then you next thing you move to your what? Your delivery. Now your offer should solve one clear what? Problem. Ask yourself, can I describe my offer in one sentence? Right? Okay. So that's part of it. Once you're done with that, you now can send it out to a tech person to build a sales page or build a simple website that highlights all of that, so that is standing there without you. So even when someone calls you and asks you, what do you do? Right? You can just send the person a link and the person goes and they're able to go through and see all of the things that your brand does for them, and they can be converted. And seamlessly, payment is done. Now, automation is not about buying apps. It's about asking, what do I keep doing over and over again? Remember, I told you, everything you do in your business that you do more than once should be what? Documented and automated. Do you know that with your mobile phone, you can automate 60% of the business if you set it up right? Yes, with your phone, with your device, with your mobile phone. As a startup, you can automate a lot of things. You can set up 60% of your business. You can do your email marketing. You can do Canva. In fact, with Canva now, you can do multiple reels. I know we understand what reels are, right? On Instagram, we can have 100 reels that we do at once and automate them, right? Instead of doing one reel today, do another one tomorrow, do another one tomorrow. All of those things can be automated. That is even where AI agents come in, which is very, very interesting right now, right? So these AI agents are so interesting because most of the things that you do, like set up meetings, attend meetings, on WhatsApp messages, emails, you can have your own AI agent that does all of that. All you do is just sit down and watch it. That's all. So think of automation as what? Freedom, not just speed. It helps you automate the what? The processes. All right. So that is for automation. Ask, what are you repeating every week? If it's repeatable, then it's what? Automatable. Very, very, very important. So write that down. After this session, you can go over to your business. Look at the things that you do, that you repeat. Things that you do more than once, that you've done today, you will do tomorrow, you do on Monday, you do on Tuesday. There are ways that you can automate that task, right? Even responding to emails nowadays, you can have a system in place with your AI agent that responds to your email. I'm telling you, it would read your emails and respond in your tone, right? That's very possible right now. So write it down. That should be one of the tasks after this session. Look at the things that you do in your business that you do more than once. Whatever it is that you do more than once, it can be automated. All right, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so this is your turn. Tasks to automate this week. I don't know if any of you have done this. Client onboarding, I know that some of you already probably know about this. So you can use WhatsApp templates or Google Form for client onboarding. You already know that. For some of you, I'm sure you already know how to set up your WhatsApp business to automate like greeting messages and point clients when they send you messages, where you have when someone sends you a message for the first time, it sends you, if you're not there, it sends you, I'm sure you would have experienced this before, where your WhatsApp sends a greeting messages. If you set it up right, it can also send a follow-up message where it points the client to your catalog or a list of services where the client can go through, click on what they want, and seamlessly the transaction is what is done. Okay, so you have something like customer welcome and info can be done on WhatsApp Business. This is for a startup now that is bootstrapping. There are other complex and professional ways of setting this up, right? So you have appointment scheduling. You can use Calendly or Google Calendar to set up your appointment. That's for those that are in the service-based business where people book your service. Payment links and receipts. Of course, you can set up. You can do this with Paystack, Seller, and then there are a variety of apps and web apps that help with the payments. For graphics design, promotions, of course, social media, Facebook, and all of that. I'm sure that we already know how to do all of this, or rather, we know how to do all of this. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so this is create repeatable systems, even if you are a solo founder, right? So a system is simply how do we do things here? That's the first thing. How do we what? Do things here. How do you do things in your business? How do we do things here? So you write it down. How do I do things here? Okay, I sell tomatoes, or I sell onions, I sell carrots. How do I sell my carrots? I go to this market. You said there's a market I go to. I go to market A, where I go to pick up my purchase of carrots. I come to maybe my office, or there's a particular store where I go to wash the carrots, clean them up, bag them. I write that down. Then I move it to the store. All of that process, you write it down. Those are your systems. That's the system you have in place. That's the system you need. You need to document all of that, so that when we ask you, how do we, somebody comes and say, how do we do things here? Simply, you don't even need to tell them, oh, you go to Mama Ngozi's place, or Mr. Frank's place, or Mr. Innocent's place, and you go pick the carrots, you take them here. No, you don't need to do all of that. Even though your business is a small business or it's a startup, no, have that process. Even helps when you're bringing in people, they already know, they already have a playbook. You already have a playbook that you work, that they just read, and they already understand how things are done here. So have this system in place, right? How things are done. Document everything you do. Document it in that book. Of course, everything that has to do with your business. Now, start writing down how you do these things. One, the first thing is, how do you onboard a new client? Now you're creating repeatable systems, right? Even as a solo founder, one entrepreneur, the first thing you should write is, how do I onboard a new client? How do I onboard a new client? I know we already touched part of this in our previous slides. No, we already talked about this in our previous slides, but of course, we write it down. How do I onboard a new client? That's the first thing you write. Then you can provide your answers to it. The next one is fulfill a service. How do I deliver the service? How do I fulfill the service? Right? C, we ask for what? Testimonials. You ask for what? Testimonials from whoever you delivered the service to. Now, you don't need a team to have systems in place. Believe me. That's why I'm going to show you the functional structure, how you can be like a multiple personality in your own business, right? Running just you, but running different things at the same time, right? So you need to save templates for messages, captions, reports. Train one person on one thing and document what? How. Right. So you don't need a team to have systems in place. You need what? Clarity. So clarity on how you process things, on how you do things, what you do. That is what you basically need. Right. So there's one key thing that I have been hammering on so far in this session, which is documenting your processes. That is very important. Documenting your process. If you don't have system in place, take this week. As you start your business, write everything, journal, write everything that happens to you, including as you get to the office, wherever you do your business, just write it down. I got to the office by 10 a.m. Write it down. I sat on my table, write it down. I was supposed to call this person, write it down. Do that for 1 week. Do that for 1 week. Right. That is how you build what? Systems. Do that for 1 week. All right. So, like I said before, one of the major things that you should take out of this so far is what? Documenting your processes. That is how you build systems. That is how you are able to automate. The moment you are able to build structures, then you are able to what? To automate the process. All right, let's move to slide 8. All right, let your business work for you, not the other way around. So a good business gives you options, not what? Exhaustion. Right. A good business does what? Gives you options, not exhaustion. Your business should not get you exhausted. At the end of the day, you shouldn't feel exhausted. No, you should feel excited. When you have systems and structures in place, you would feel what? Excited. Even if you are the only one in your business. When you have systems in place, you will feel what? Excited, not what? Exhausted. If you have to juggle everything, you're overwhelmed, you're confused, you're pushing this one, you're saying that one, you're doing that one without proper documenting the processes and following through the processes that push you towards growth and proper targets towards generating revenue, you're going to feel confused, right? You're going to feel confused. So the first thing that you should have is it says here, a good business gives you what? Options, not what? Exhaustion. Now, if you are always chasing it, it's not structured yet. Did you get that? If you're always chasing it, it's not what? Structured yet. Systems protect your peace and your progress. Systems do what? Protect your peace and your progress. So you bring somebody, after building all of these systems, you bring somebody, they already know what to do, right? They already know what to do. So any person coming is coming to enhance the systems that you've already put in place. It helps for continuity. It helps for growth, right? So these things are very, very what? Important. Okay. All right. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, so this is what I said I was going to share. Since many of the people on the group call are they're just starting, entrepreneurs. Before I talk about this, I'm just going to share with you what to track so you can grow with focus. Now, if you don't track it, you can't improve it, right? So metrics you should care about. One, new leads. Leads. So you can write that down. Leads, new leads. These are things you should focus on. New leads, customers, new customers. This week, you can write that down. Another thing is conversations that move to offers. What conversations do you have with new leads? Now, you can go back, if you're already in business, go back to the conversations that actually converted your customer. Like if you had a conversation before with a client or a customer that actually led to sales and actually led to that customer buying from you, believe me, that's gold. You stumbled upon gold. Go back to that conversation. If there was something you said or something that you talked about or a topic that you talked about that connected that customer to you and the customer finally bought your product or hired you, go back to that conversation. And for every new lead you have, use that conversation. You'll be shocked at how that conversation will keep converting people. So very, very important. You see how we are building processes now. You see how to build processes. So of course, I know people are different. When a customer comes, they come with different, they are different people, they have different problems, different challenges. But if something has worked with one customer, there is a 70 to 80% tendency that it will work with another customer. There is what? 70 to 80% that same conversation will convert the next customer. So very important. So two things I have stated now is focus on new leads, two, conversations that you've had that have converted before. Payments received, repeat clients. What other offers do you have for your customers or clients that you've had before? Another thing is tasks that you wasted the most time on. What are some tasks that you wasted the most time on? You need to go back to those tasks that waste your time. Like some of the tasks that you get into the office and they waste your time. And you get into the office, you get to the business, and you find yourself that every time you do that process, it takes you 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours. Maybe it's having to procure one document, having to prepare one document. You need to check it. What are those things that waste your time? Are they things that you can actually outsource and get them done quicker than you do them, weigh the cost, and cut it down, right? So look at the tax in your business. What is that one thing that you spend so much time on? Is it on social media promotions? Is it on creating ads? Is it that you can spend 5, 6, 7 hours trying to close one customer? Find it, write it down, because you need a lot of time. It will help you in automating the system. So if you spend almost 5, 6 hours on one customer, what happens when you have 50 to 60 customers, right? So it means you now need to go and hire 50 to 60 people. Is it possible that you can build a system in place that handles 60 customers at once? Of course, it is possible. If it were to be on a chat or maybe on Instagram, there's something called mini chats that is able to have a conversation with more than one customer, right? So you need to look at what is stealing your time in your business. So I've stated 5 things now: new leads, conversation that has led to offers, payments received, repeat clients. What extra offer can you give? What made it, that repeat client is what made the client come back to you. Why did they come back? So you can have this by going to ask them for reviews. Why did the client come back to you? Why did they come back to buy your service? What made them happy? Why did they refer someone to you? Ask them. While asking them, you document it so that you can replicate it for other customers. You see? So these are systems, these are little things that will help you scale your business. So I'll just go over the list again. The first one is new leads. Second one is conversations that move you to offers. Third one is payments received. The fourth one is repeat clients. And the fifth one is tasks you wasted the most time on. All right. So now I'm going to talk about this. Implementation of the functional structure. I don't know. Do we have anybody here using this functional structure? Or do we have anybody here that knows about the functional structure? As an entrepreneur, this especially will help those that are solo founders. You are the only one running your business. Do we have anybody here? Hello?
Hello? Yes, I'm a
Hello?
solo founder, and most of the time I'm the only
Beautiful.
one working in my business.
Okay, good. So do you know what the functional structure is?
Well, you see this list, I don't know it as like it has a terminology called the functional structure, but I actually have all
Okay.
of these things that I've documented.
Okay. 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 So, how do you function? Can you just share a bit with me how you function in your business?
Okay, so I run a book editing service, and
Sorry,
most
I
of
didn't
the
get that.
time,
Sorry.
I run a book editing service.
Book editing. Okay, awesome. Awesome. All right.
Okay, so most people come on board based on referral. Most of the
Okay.
time, it's based off referral. A few coming from the fact that I have a standing website, sometimes functional social media accounts, and all of that. So
Okay.
all those help to build credibility. So when they come
Okay.
on board, they've paid their we've done the initial, onboarding structure. I review the document to know what it needs, discuss the cost, prepare the invoice, ask
Okay.
for uh, the upfront payment. Once I receive the
Okay.
upfront payments, we move from admin to work. And then that may take us anytime between 2 weeks and 6 months. It depends on what project it is. And so
Okay.
there's the author has already been pre-informed. Once we get to this stage, you have to pay up your balance, and then we conclude. So I do that because
Okay.
if you finish work before you request your balance, you might
Yes.
find some people. Once you start pressing them, of course, at that point, you may have cut it off. because the way the
Right.
human mind works, they don't say, oh, she made me feel bad about myself. So
Yeah.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah. So at some point during the business, I had to, start putting it in the contract. So we continue.
Okay.
So
All right. Awesome. Now, so there's a question. There's something I want to ask. I get your processes. When your customers or your clients come, do they see your business as a one-man business? Do they see you, they just see just you as the business?
yes. In fact, I've had issues
Beautiful.
with people who insist I have to be the one to work on their documents.
Good. Now, even though you need to be the only one working on the document, this is one of the reasons why we need to build systems in place, right? The moment they know you are the one working, now with this here, there's information of the functional structure. When someone comes on board,
yes,
if it was to be an office, the first person they meet is the admin, right? Is the admin. So the admin, of course, takes you through the processes of how things are done and all of that. The next person is, once they've made a commitment, right?
yes.
If they want to make a commitment, they go over to where? They go over to bookkeeping, accounts.
Okay.
They go over to bookkeeping, which is accounts. Once they are in accounts, once they've made their payments, accounts communicates with what? With admins, with the admin, and the admin communicates with operations.
Okay.
Admin say, oh yeah, so bookkeeping bookkeeping says admin, this person has made this payment for so admin documents the processes, admin goes to operations, and operations begins the process, begins the job. Now, for all of these things here, for admin, operations, marketing, bookkeeping, for IT and tech, each of these things are an entity on their own. Even though you are working as a solo person, you should have all of this. Have an email for all of these things. Have a JU. Yes, I know you are a solo person. You are working solo. But for these 5, this is especially for solo founders, right? You know what this does for the person? It makes them see that you have a structured business. So you come to me and say, okay, I do book editing, right? We've structured there. Yes, I can handle all of this. You want to start business, right? And until you say you want to make payment, okay, send an email to marketing at marketing so. No, not marketing. Send an email to admin so. My admin will take it up from there. They send a mail to admin. Admin sends a mail back. You are the only person behind it. The admin sends a message, sends an email to the person. Oh, so business AA book editing firm. We've received your request. Please make so payment. We send you a message. After making your payments, go to bookkeeping, send this mail to this particular office, and this particular office will handle your stocks. What this does, it also helps you structure your business, right? It helps you structure what? Your business. So that just in case in the future, if you want to automate all of these processes, you can automate them because you have different entities managing different processes. But if you don't have this, the person may not necessarily see your business as structured, right? And you begin to have issues with even payment because they know that it is only you that is behind your business. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. So what this does, it builds an illusion in the mind of the person that I'm not dealing with only one person. I'm dealing with a full business, with a business that is structured. So they're not going to even tell you that they're not going to say, I'm not going to pay you or I'm going to delay your payment, because they know, they already see that, okay, they are already 5, 6, I'm moving from this to this. This is the process. Oh, this place is structured, and people like structure. They like structure. They like when things are structured. So this also helps you. It shares the tax. It helps you manage your business properly. Right. So this is how, for solo founders, this is how you should structure your business. If you're a solo founder, have an admin, have an email that manages all the process, all the things the admin will do. What would an admin regularly do? Have an email that answers to all of that query. Operations, everything, all the processes, everything that you do to get the job done will be under operations. Everything you do under marketing, have an email that handles that. Everything you do under marketing. Everything that has to do with accounts.
Ask a question?
Please go on.
Can I ask a question? Still using
Yes,
my
please.
business to as an example. Now,
Yes.
if you are going to, one of the things I know that will help with this presenting yourself as a serious business with structure is having a
Yes.
website, and that website has
Beautiful.
email address, functional email addresses that people can actually write to and receive responses.
Yes.
So what you find is
Yes.
that cost-wise, the
Yes.
best you can do, the highest you can get is two emails attached to your website. Anything higher than 2, then the costs, they have to like maybe move you to Google Office Suite or something, and then you are paying like extra $50 every month. So for me, the cost is not even worth it. So, but if you have these 2 email address, one is either
Yes.
info or hello, then the other is
Yes.
ownerofbusiness@business.com. You understand? So the info
Yes.
is the one that you can attach to your Instagram, your LinkedIn, and all of that. The
Yes.
whole
Yes. A
earth and
general inquiry.
their systems, yes, they have it. Then for those ones that you have sieved, they are serious and you've sieved them, you can now use the second email. Now, this functional structure I'm looking at, it's
Yes.
if you have to keep these 5 at a certain stage of growth, won't it be clunky? And then for someone who is still at that growth phase, which is what most of our startup businesses are at, how do they
Yes.
avoid maybe sending someone that has not committed to you, then you're sending them on errand or confusing them with different Gmail accounts, knowing how easily people can be like, hey, all these emails, how do I keep track and be sure I'm talking to the right person? So now my question
The first
is,
thing,
how do you keep this
okay.
simple when the business is truly still at a simple phase?
Yes. Okay, how do we keep this simple when the business is at the startup stage?
A really simple
Now,
phase. Maybe it doesn't even have a
this is
website
not
yet.
only for, okay, fine. Now, to answer your question, normally when you
Yes.
do a website, I think that you can generate at least 5, 6 emails. You can generate at least 5, 6 emails. It comes with your hosting. I know you can even generate more because, of course, I am also a full stack developer, so I have an idea of how all these things
Okay.
work. So, yes, it may look clumsy. Yes, it may look clumsy, but then it is important for the client to know that that is why you have structure. You don't want to remain at the startup for the rest of your life. No. So it's good that as a startup, you are implementing all of these processes. Now, it's simple. Of course, they won't have to deal with all of these emails. For instance, like you said, your info at your business is the first interactions, the first, what's it called now? The first access to your business. Now, with the info, when they make queries and all of that, you send them, your info can double as your admin. So all of the things that your admin will do, every query will go to your admin. right? So you can respond to the admin. The moment you move the client or the customer past to the place where they are ready to make payments, it's simple. You tell them, yes, you have an email. Okay, it can be either operations at. Okay, after you've made your payments, send it to operations at. You send them that email. Right. So some of these emails here or some of these processes here are for your own good. It's so that you can understand the tasks that you have to do. For instance, all of the tasks that you're supposed to do should be under bookkeeping. You're just one person. It is more for you than even the clients. Because of course, the clients will not be interacting with all of these emails. They may be interacting with your admin and your operations. I don't know that you understand. So this is for you. It's more for you than the customer or the client. Your admin, generally, that is, of course, general use. Everybody can interact with that. After payment, you can tell them, okay, send an email to operations at whatever email you set up there. They will take it from there. So the moment you tell them they will take it from there, it already makes the customer feel like this is a structured business. It's not just a one-man. You know, there's this feeling the customer has when I'm just dealing with one person who can do business anyhow. No, right? But when you tell them, okay, once you're done, send a message to operations, email at social operations. They will handle it. There is a different way they look at your business, even though you are a solo founder and you're a startup business. Right. You understand that you now have structure. You understand that you have structure and you have a system in place. Now, this will not only help you as a startup person. If you have all of this in future, when you grow your business, in the future, when you grow your business beyond this, when you're hiring people for these roles, you already have a playbook in place for your admin, your operations, your marketing, bookkeeping, your IT. You already have a what? A playbook. Remember, we talked about processes, about documenting your processes. So all of the processes you would have documented, you can now begin to sieve them and tag them to different file. Which one falls under admin? Which one falls under operations? So tomorrow, when you hire somebody, or when you want to automate your tasks, like maybe you want to use AI to automate some tasks. Maybe you want to use AI to automate the IT or the operations or the admin. It's simple. You already have a playbook that you can feed into your AI agent. And once you feed it, you have it already interacting and doing the things that you do, not trying to generate new tasks for it. I don't know that you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Okay. So this is more for you than for the customer or the client.
Okay, so what I get is that having the separate emails actually helps prepare one mentally and also officially separate all of these things.
Beautiful. That's it. That is structure in place. That's what we're talking about. So this is the functional structure. This is a simple structure for every solo founder. It will help you put things in place so that you're not confused or overwhelmed with your processes. Because as a solo founder, it's very easy for you to get overwhelmed by things. Having to do admin processes, you don't know where you're jumping from admin processes, you don't know where you're jumping to operations, you don't know where you're jumping to marketing, at the same time, you don't know where you're doing bookkeeping, accounting, have they paid that one, have they done that one, you don't know where you're being an IT person by trying to tweak one email and stuff. So all of this helps. Putting all of this in place helps.
Okay,
All right.
I put
So,
something.
okay.
Can
Wow.
you hear me?
Our time
Hello,
is
can
far
you
gone.
hear
So
me?
let's move to the next. Okay, go on.
Yes, we can hear you, Denike.
Okay, my hand is up. I wanted to, would I say answer Adebukola's question / ask a question. So I had a question
Okay.
about if you won't it be overwhelming asking people who are more or less people that will probably perhaps have preferred to just do business over WhatsApp to then begin to give
Yeah.
them email addresses for different things. So what I was thinking, my thoughts are like, so for example, you have your admin, which is the info. And so if it's something that has to do with finance, for example, so maybe they make the inquiry, and when you have to respond to them, you still respond to them with the admin account, but you CC your finance account, for example, in that case, so that when you need to later have to sort through things, because they are then just going to be replying all and all. So you then want to maybe do the switch yourself rather than asking them to send the email to finance. For example, maybe they wrote to info. So by the time you're replying, you're probably replying them with finance, and then you're copying the info so that by the time they are replying, you are the one actually doing the switch, not them. So I'd just like to hear
This
your
switch,
thoughts on
yes,
that.
brilliant. Brilliant. That's beautiful. That's another way to go about it. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. In fact, you just took it out of my mouth. That's beautiful. So you can be replying as that. So they now see a different email replying them on operations and finance. That's beautiful. That's perfect. Better that way. Like it works like that for me. It works like that. So it's easier for you like that. So in the future, when they have queries, you can tell them, okay, send a mail to marketing, or send a mail to bookkeeping, or they have an IT problem, send a mail to the IT department. You are the only one behind it, but then you're telling them to send a mail. So it looks structured. Your business is structured, right? Not them having to access you every time. You understand? So there's something it does when they see your business like that, in that light. Okay, so I hope this is clear, so we can move to the next slide since our time is far
Yes,
gone.
please.
All right. Okay, let's move to the next slide, please. All right, you guys already know me. So we can move to the next slide. All right, thank you for listening. So in general, as just as a bonus, of course, we are now in the time of we are in an age, and a very interesting age, where we have we've been introduced to artificial intelligence, AI, that we have AI for almost anything now. We have AI for emails, we have AI that are able to generate videos. In fact, we even have AI that can generate videos using our own image, and of course we can't even tell the difference. So I think we live in brilliant times. We live in one of the best times ever. You don't need much. You don't need, before, if you wanted to get a video, a professional video done of your business and stuff, you need to hire a videographer, pay a lot of money. But now, with with a few clicks, you are able to generate as many videos as you want. The good thing with this also is, with a little prompt and stuff, we can even also do ads. It's a very, very interesting time. Very interesting time. So one of the things that you should begin to look at is how you can implement artificial intelligence in whatever it is that you do, right? How you can embrace artificial intelligence. You're doing book editing. How can I implement AI into my book editing? Can AI be able to handle the editing for me? Can it also manage the process, my onboarding process? If someone chats up on my website, do I have an AI on my website that's able to answer queries, convert the customer into convert the prospect into a customer? Do I have like a chatbot on my website that's able to do all of that? Even on WhatsApp Business, we have things like that that you can implement, and your AI is able to have based on the conversation, they are able to understand the needs, the unique needs of the customer, and are able to send tailored solutions to the client or the customer. So we live in brilliant times. These are brilliant times. So I'm going to advise everybody on this call, on this session, begin to think at how you can structure your business. I already gave you an example of the functional structure. Go and look at your business. What are the things that you do repetitively every day? Document it. and see how you can automate that process. What are the things that actually get to waste your time every day? When you get to the office, when you get to the business, what are those things that delay you, that keep you stuck? These things that you can outsource. If you can't, please do. You don't have time on your end. But at the tail end, what I want you to do is take out this week and see how you can work on your business. Even on your job, there's some tasks for those that are working with people. There are some things that you can do, that you can set up, that you don't need to be called upon. Right. You don't need to be called upon to do. See how you can work on it, so much so that at the end of the day, while you're not there, your business is functional. While you're not there, your business is what? Functional. Your business, things are happening, you're closing sales, deals are happening. Right. So this is what I want to leave you guys with. Thank you once again for having me. Do we have any questions before we go?
So thank you so
Hello?
much, Coach Peter. It's been an
You're
enlightening
welcome. Thank you.
experience so far.
Yeah.
And for people like us in services, of course, I'm sure you know how we find it almost impossible to put these things in place, because service is service, and sometimes you are just carried away with, I can do it all. But sincerely, to
Exactly.
scale up,
Yes.
to earn more, we just have to do all these things. I'm sure those online now and those who will listen to the recording later, I'm sure they'll be able to make use of all your advice. Thank you very, very much for today.
You're welcome.
For everyone who joined us, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you got as much as I have from here. And for Startup Corner, thank you for joining us. We hope you also show up for the next session. Have a good
Absolutely.
evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Coach,
you
for
all.
showing
Thank
up.
you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Denike.
Thank you,
Thank
Sis
you.
Denike, for organizing.
Thank you all. Thank you for stepping in, my powerful, powerful Amazons.
Bye.
Thank you.